everybody.
Bienvenue tout le
Welcome.
monde.
Come on in and sit down in front of your screen.
Venez, asseyez-vous, mettez-vous à l'aise.
Make yourself comfortable and take some deep breaths.
Mettez-vous à l'aise et respirez tranquillement.
Ah.
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 Hello, everybody.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Waiting for everybody to get into the room. So my name is Thomas, and this is my wife Sarah. We are the directors of SkyDancing Tantra in the USA.
Mon nom est Thomas et voici ma femme Sarah. Nous sommes les directeurs de SkyDancing aux États-Unis.
We're super happy to be here this morning to welcome Margot to speak to you.
Nous sommes vraiment ravis de vous souhaiter la bienvenue pour accueillir Margot qui va nous parler aujourd'hui.
We're also part of the organizing team for the upcoming SkyDancing Tantra online immersion.
Nous faisons aussi partie de l'équipe du programme SkyDancing Immersion qui démarre dans une semaine.
And that we are thrilled that Margot is here to help us give you a little taste of what is available through SkyDancing Immersion.
Et nous sommes super contents que Margot soit là aujourd'hui avec nous pour vous donner un petit avant-goût de ce que nous allons vous offrir pendant cette immersion en ligne.
Many people have discovered SkyDancing Tantra through her books and some through her workshops.
Beaucoup de personnes ont découvert le SkyDancing Tantra à travers les livres, les CD. And we lower the music a little bit. Donc j'ai juste demandé qu'on baisse un tout petit peu la musique.
And so that what we were also wanting to acknowledge the brilliance of Margot and how much she has done in her life to bring a sense of bliss and aliveness in so many people, so many souls that are searching for more in their relationships, those that are wanting to have a sense of spirit in their sexuality, those that want to have and believe that there's some desire to rise in our life, to ascend to a higher state of being. Margot has inspired many people. When you think of her, it's really the word inspiration, how inspirational she is for so many people, and especially I'll speak for myself that she is a strong, capable woman who has built this wonderful institute, up to 9 institutes, written books, has guided through a very challenging subject matter for some of us.
You can get arrested or burned at the stake sometimes.
But really has developed such a rich and life-changing experience. For many people, it's feeling SkyDancing Tantra that tells them they're in the right place, to really feel that difference when you've experienced it. So let's welcome Margot Anand here. Thank you.
Thank you. So is it my turn now to speak?
Yes, Margot.
I go for it.
Yay.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm delighted, really, really delighted. And it's a very special evening for me because I'll admit, but it's a secret, that I have been rather resistant to the whole digital class teaching, transmission, talking, grouping. And I'm surrounded by it everywhere in Bali. Everybody's doing that. And I'm the one that's kind of staying silent in the wings, watching it all, not doing it. And so this evening, I'm doing it for one and one single reason. It's because I love skydance Tantra. And I love my Sangha, my family, my tribe of sky dancers. They're like my children and my grandchildren. And I want to remind us all and remind you that, you know, of all the schools of Tantra, we're probably in skydancing the most demanding ones, because to become a certified skydancing Tantra teacher, as some of you know, it takes 2 years of the love and ecstasy training, 3 weeks a year, and then 2 years of the teacher's training, 3 weeks a year, and then 2 years of assisting to be part of the team family and the guardians. And that's again 3 weeks a year, more or less. So the people that are with us, that are in the family, they have chosen to go for it. And it's in this choice of going for it that I'm going to talk about, that they have discovered themselves, and they have discovered how they belong to the human family, how they can salute everybody that they meet in Tantra, as I salute you now. And I say, I honor you as an aspect of myself. Yes. And so these beings that are sky dancers, I began with this, with honoring them as an aspect of myself. And it's also interesting to know that the original sky dancers were Buddha Padmasambhava and Yeshe Tsogyal, his consort, and they were alive in the 8th century Tibet. And so this lineage has gone through many, many transitions and iterations, created a very large and beautiful energy field, one which is more discreet than most of the current Tantra, Tantra online, Tantra courses that are screaming to be heard, that are marketing themselves up the wazoo. We don't do too much. But I believe that Skydancing Tantra is the Christian Dior of Tantra. I believe that we're the best. There is no doubt about it. So this being said, I want to put this subject aside because I'm not selling Coca-Cola here. And I just actually want to talk about something that is close to our hearts, all of our hearts. And it's global awakening versus personal awakening, and what facilitates it and what's preventing it. And so we're going through tough times, let's face it. We're going through a kind of a world madness where everything is a game of mirrors and everything seems to be a certain way, but is not really what it is. And I have to remember that my dear Astrid is translating me in French. So I will now slow down when I speak. So, yes, we're in a game of mirrors, illusions. Things seem to be one way. You switch the channel to the non-official media, and they're completely something else. One side will tell you that viruses, in particular a COVID virus, doesn't exist. And the other side will tell you, hurry up to vaccine, because otherwise you're dead. The other side will tell you, vaccine, if you vaccine, you'll die. It's actually, if you begin to look at it, very funny. And it would be probably more funny if we didn't have the dramatic situation of people that are so affected that they get very ill, not to mention those who pass away. So I don't want to make fun of that. I take that into account. And I'm saying, so what are we going to do about all this, about this madness? Well, I have to admit that it's maybe easier for me to talk about all this from where I am, because for some mysterious ways, existence has brought me to Bali. I fell in love with Bali, and in Bali, we are free. Okay, we can party, we can have dinners, we can dance, we can do excursions on this island or other islands. It's a blessing. And last night I was at the big birthday party of a friend, a Russian friend, and she asked every person there, about 40 people, to say and express what they were grateful for. And to my great joy, every single one of us said, first and foremost, we're grateful to be living in Bali. So we are in this atmosphere of being able to cultivate our bliss, which is what I want to talk to you about. Because given the current situation of the world chaos, we have to ask ourselves, what are we here for? What do we have to do about this madness? What's happening? So I've been spending the last 6 months asking myself the question, day in and day out, exploring every piece of news from every country, every continent, the official, the unofficial, just spending a day with the man who is probably the most informed in the intelligence community of Europe and America, learning the most insane things. And finally, our conclusion, him and me, is that it's always the same. We here to wake up. And when you are on a path of awakening, when you are on a path of waking up, when that is become an important aspect of your life, then you obligatorily enter into a test. You're being tested. And the test right now is heavy duty because there is a pressure down and there is a pushing up. And it's not just each of us individually, it is the cosmic situation, the planetary situation, the cosmological situation that is creating this push-pull movement between the yin and the yang. So we are, for many of us, entering or have entered or are exiting this dark night of the soul that forces us to give up everything that was our crutches, everything we were relying on, every false value, every attachment to what cannot be had anymore, entertainment or money or housing or jobs or connection with the loved ones. Everything is taken away in one form or another. And then we are forced to give up the next illusion, that is a very big one, and which is time. Because now there is no security, there is no possibility to do a 5-year plan. We're already lucky if we could do a 5-minute plan. Everything changes all the time, and you cannot rely or stand on much of anything. The ground shifts all the time. We know this. How can we go through it in a way that we can stay even keeled? How can we go through it in a way that we are sufficiently trusting of existence, centered in ourselves, and cultivating the values and the frequency vibrations that we choose to cultivate? How can we do that in this situation? Well, you have two ways to do it. Either you fight or you flow. You fight because you want to stand up for your freedom You want to stand up for your rights, and you want to declare your right as a human being to choose for yourself. And you flow because you remember the metaphor of the boulder which falls in the middle of the river, which is flowing quietly down the river. Here comes this big boulder, this block of a boulder. But the water continues to flow around the boulder. It doesn't stop itself. It just finds a way around it. And this is the feminine way to deal with things, the flowing way. And by cultivating flowing, like a martial artist, in the moment where there seems to be no flow at all, you are gaining strength, you are gaining power, and you come slowly, slowly to remember one thing, which I'm now applying to myself because I have the time to be able to do that. And that is choose with awareness what brings you joy, and it will open the door to your spirit. Now, for me, the most attractive dimension, and also currently maybe the most difficult to cultivate, is bliss. Blissful state of consciousness. What does that mean? It means that you honor, you value a frequency vibration which is fine, subtle, and which brings you to a dimension of comfort within yourself, of contentment, which is not occupied by the mind, but occupied with the isness of your being, occupied with the dimension of consciousness that moves beyond the boundaries of the mind, beyond the boundaries of the conditions that we are forced to adapt to. Because beyond all that, what we are is freedom. Beyond all that, what we are, what we have to remember day in and day out, is that we're sovereign human beings. And if we so decide, nobody can take away from us the right to say yes or the right to say no. There is a problem, however, in what I'm saying, a problem that I faced myself, which I'm in the process of resolving, and which I want to share with you because I find it eminently important. That is, that it's very easy to say, choose with awareness what brings you joy. But in this time, it sounds a little ridiculous with all the difficulties that we're going through. These are things which we cannot do on our own, because when we try to do this, we have lots of different patterns that interfere. The difficulty to feed ourselves right, the difficulty to leave our house, the difficulty to avoid being stressed out, all sorts of confrontations, the worries about money, the worries about pollution, what do I know? It's all confronting us. So how can we choose with awareness what brings us joy? Well, in my case, it's an example among others, but in my case, I knew that my biggest problem where I had arrived was that I was in utter lack of discipline. I was a rebel tantrika, and you could tell me that I had to follow a routine every day for my health, yoga, jogging, whatever. If I preferred to read a book, I would read a book. Talk on the phone, I would talk on the phone. But that wasn't helping my circumstances. It wasn't helping my health. So I thought, how can I choose with awareness what brings me joy? How can I establish a sense of bliss that is sufficiently powerful that I will be attracted I will be attracted to go back there, to cultivate that day in and day out. So I thought, well, I can't do that on my own. I'm not capable. I don't have the willpower. I don't have the discipline. So I have to find someone. I have to find a teacher. I have to find a coach. So I found that coach. I found that teacher. And then that teacher arrived in all the pride and strength of his manhood. And I found myself having to completely and utterly surrender to this guy's teachings. I was not used to do that. I was usually the one that was leading the show. And here now in Bali, the only way that my access to bliss can work is let go. And so in this letting go all the time of the body in the hands of this man, of the body in the streets of Bali, in this letting go, I am discovering the joy of being alive, the joy of hearing the pulse of my lymph system circulating from toe to head and from head to toe. And so I'm asking you this question. If you go and look inside, what is it for you now in your life that would help you to wake up? It's a given that there are moments where it's clearly not possible to do it on our own because of the pressures of our normal life. But we have to remember that we are in a global awakening, that awakening is not just an individual thing anymore. It's a tribal thing. It's a social thing. It's a togetherness thing. And so, because we can't have the physical togetherness as much as we did, we have to create a higher ground, a higher level of togetherness, where we are able to climb the ladder of consciousness through our chakras to arrive at a place where we are feeling that we are one with the universe. And for this, my friends, you and you and you and I need help. And we are in SkyDancing Tantra getting ready to offer you this opportunity that I found here in Bali with my teacher. We are all getting together to tell you now is the time to wake up. Now is the time to wake up, not because you're going to immerse yourself into 24 hours of courses with Tony Robbins in a beautiful room somewhere in Singapore. No, the time now is to do it in the privacy of your own home and to invite the teachers to come and teach you something in such a way that you will be given the space to actualize what you're learning. Because what is the point of learning? What do you think growth is going to mean if you're not able to translate it into the everyday actions of your life? And every moment to remember, how would Buddha, in the feminine and masculine sense, Buddha and Dakini, answer the situation in this moment? Well, my answer to that is staying silent, watching, observing the turmoil inside, breathing through this turmoil inside, and telling and remembering this too will soon pass. Now, when you practice this, you open the door to what some would call faith, others would call trust. And especially now, this having faith and trusting is really difficult because there's not much around us that can support, sustain, and justify this idea that, well, let's trust existence and it will give us what we need. It doesn't look like it, but it is true nonetheless. It is true nonetheless. It is in the hardest, in the most difficult moments of challenges that the teacher comes to you to remind you, wake up, and I'm here to help you. And we are now telling you that this is a unique opportunity to step into this immersion course of SkyDancing Tantra. There is no other such course currently existing where you have a whole Saturday, where you have a taste of so many different flavors and teachers all dedicated to SkyDancing and to awakening. And then the next day, Sunday, we're not here. You're on your own. And now you remember, what did you go through? And how can you apply it? Because otherwise, what's the point of learning? And then we're back with you on Monday morning. And now you have a chance to look at, what did you do on Sunday? Did you remember? And what are you going to do on Monday? Can we help you to integrate your spiritual awakening, your spirituality with your daily life? This is crucial. There is no more important thing, according to me, than this now, is to dedicate the time you can, okay, the energy you have to waking up. Not waking up according to the flavor of Osho, not waking up according to the flavor of the Buddhists, not waking up according to the flavor of Margot Anand, waking up according to your color, according to your truth, according to your reality, according to your choice. And this is why we, in this unique school of lovers, we are offering so many flavors, so many different teachers who have gone through more in the humble, simple way than half of the Tantra population of Bali, who, as it is the case always when a new thing arises, have done 3 weekends of Tantra and are now thinking, okay, let's make some money, and advertising themselves as teaching Tantra groups. I meet them. I met them at the party. I talk to them. I listen. I watch. You know, I'm silent. It's an interesting thing. You know, it's a way to become humble and to give a chance under the sky to everybody. Those that fumble, those that fly. Because to get to fly, you have to fumble. It's like that. And so now I'm inviting you to really think about what I'm saying and to call in the teacher that is going to remind you of your potential, because you have infinite potential to be creative and to wake up. I don't care what your circumstances is. I don't care whether you're poor or rich. You have an equal potential to each one of us here to wake up to the fullness of your being. And the fullness and the awakening comes when you go within, you listen to the guidance of those who have been there before you. They are your allies. They are your platform to jump and to then take what they're teaching you and apply it in your daily life. More than ever, it's important. And I tell you why. Do you hear the frogs singing in my pond here? And on the other end here, there are people laughing, partying. That's Bali. So I tell you why this is important. I have a theory. I'm not a scientist, but I've listened to dozens of them in German, in English, etc. It is my understanding that everything these days functions more than ever on the quantum physics level as frequency and vibration. Everything is frequency and vibration, from sounds to words to the 5G that they're trying to saddle us with, to the vaccines that they're trying to invade us with. Everything has a resonance. Now, if you cultivate a high resonance, if you are able to maintain the remembrance of this high frequency in your daily life, and if you are able to establish this high frequency to facilitate this high frequency by being careful about what you eat and how you act and what you say in every moment of every day. Better to say nothing than to say something nasty or something demeaning or something that'll get the others or yourself to worry. Okay? So in any case, if you are falling down the rabbit hole that the common media is serving us day in and day out, all pre-programmed, to awaken the fear and the worry in our being. So if we, because that applies to me too, I have to watch every moment of every day. Believe me, I used to be a journalist. I am so curious about what's going on in the world. And I have to make all efforts not to look in my iPhone when I get up in the morning to see what are the latest news. Because I know, and I'm reminded by my teachers around here, that those news are all fabricated, much more than we think. So I then tune into the inner radio to listen to my inner news, okay? And start the day with yoga, with breathing, with walking, with watching the frogs, watching the butterflies, watching the birds and falling in love with nature. But this being said, back to what I was saying. So it seems that everything is concurring to lower our frequency. I said it before, I described it before. Well, it's very easy to slide down that rabbit hole. But if we slide down that rabbit hole, what happens? Our immune system gets weaker. Our sense of worry gets bigger, which affects us on all levels. We lose our appetite. We lose our motivation to take care of ourselves. And we use every excuse that is given to us, God knows there's lots of them, to basically maintain ourselves at a frequency level, which is going to make it easier and easier for this non-existing COVID. We have yet to prove that the COVID virus exists. It hasn't been proven yet. Did you know that? More on that some other time. Any case, that this non-existing, whatever it may be, fabrication that exists because people get sick from it, I'm not denying it. Now, what it is, I don't know. But in any case, this item, this fabrication, can penetrate us, okay, when we have a certain level of frequency vibration that is low and slow, and which is very much influenced by depression and stress. When we are able to realize the value, the importance, more than ever before, to cultivate the higher levels of frequency vibration, then we are coming closer and closer to a kind of blissful contentment, a kind of a inner equilibrium that makes us more easily choose what is good for us, whether it be for food, whether it be for friendships, whether it be for whatever we're going to spend our day doing, whether we're going to eat, who we're going to see, and what conversations we're going to have. So if we cultivate this high level, we don't get sick. This is my experience. Now, we have lots of doctors around that tell us that we're prone to this and we're going to have that and we should take this pill and we should live through this side effect. Well, we believe them or we don't believe them. Who says? So I ask you now to explore for a moment in your life, how many intercessionaries are you handing your power over to? Who are you listening to? The media, the television, the doctors, the police agents, the ones who make the laws, the bankers. Okay, all of these are people that are creating structures, regimes, and organizations that stand between your God-given right as a human being to be free on this planet and to walk freely on this earth and to be deciding for yourself about your body and about your health. When you choose the high ground and you choose a higher frequency vibration, you feel that the connection with the universe gets easier. And the universe is giving you what you need, even if it doesn't look like what you want. So that's why we're coming in here in this immersion course. And that's why I urge you to seriously consider to join us in this unique experiment in awakening day to day what you can do to have an easier way of navigating through these difficult times and to be guided to a place where you will be able to wake up in the middle of the difficulty. Think for a moment of what happens when there is a cyclone. It's interesting to remember that the center of the cyclone is a place which is completely still and peaceful. And do you know that when you practice Sufi whirling, you get to the same central place of peace? And do you know that when you practice SkyDancing Tantra and you know how to take your sexual, sensual, vital energy through your central channel and you're in a flute and you move the frequency vibrations from your sexual center to your belly, to your solar plexus, your center of power, to your heart, your center of attraction and of love and of sharing and caring, to your throat, your center of truth speaking, and your third eye, your center of dreaming and visioning and understanding the world intuitively. And your crown, your ecstatic dimension of feeling one with all that is. So that's what we teach you in SkyDancing Tantra in so many different ways, because each of us has their own unique way of accessing this most important awakening of bringing our vibrational frequencies at the highest level that we can. I tell my coach that he's my bliss bowl, my bowl of bliss. When he comes to give me a class, he brings me a bowl of bliss. He helps me to remember also what we are all going to do with you in SkyDancing. Remember bliss, remember your bliss. Open that window, listen, wait, stay silent, go inside, remember who you are. So that's what really I wanted to tell you. And this is more important than anything else that you hear or anything else that anybody tells you. This is the moment. Jump on the bandwagon. Come with us, okay? And let us help you to create a platform and implement in your daily life the awakening steps that we are going to bring to you and that we are going to teach you. So now I'm going to open the floor to some questions, and then if we have time, how much time do I have on my team here?
I have about 40 minutes, Margot, for questions.
I have 40 minutes for questions and for meditation, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful. So
Yeah.
I have spoken for how long?
For about 40 minutes.
Hey, I'm balanced. This is great. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, and so you would like people to put questions in the chat at this point, and
yeah, and I would like someone else to handle the technology of it all, so I can focus on, being clear in my heart without having to worry about the internet. Because I have to warn you, the more blissful you get, the less you will like internet. So.
yes, definitely. Yep. And we've enjoyed the frog sounds too, as people are posing what kind of questions do you have for Margot? And she spoke a lot about different aspects of trust, of finding your inner healing powers, your rising vibration. And is there things that sparks for you that you would like to ask
if you ask a question,
her?
you're taking responsibility and you're stepping into participating in this game of life. If you don't ask a question, you kind of become a consumer once again, sitting in front of your screen, a bit timid maybe, you don't want to manifest yourself. And I'm saying, come on, give me something back to what I have shared with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Margot, we have a question. We have a question from Marjorie.
These are technical questions that I cannot handle because I'm only appearing 3 times or a number of times to teach you, but I'm not handling the administrative aspect or the financial aspect of the immersion. You cannot tell Grace when it shows up, listen, that's very nice of you to show up, but could you please come back at 5 in the afternoon because right now I'm going to be busy. You cannot start to enter into an immersion and then in the middle of the dive you say, oh wait, I'm not quite ready, I got something going on. You either do it or you don't do it, but this is me. Now the organizer and the administrators, they might be telling you something else, so you're gonna have to come back to them and write to them, and I can't really answer that, but I would advise you go for it.
Yeah, I could answer that just a minute because there's a couple kind of technical questions, and that really about the idea is that that it's designed to be a flow that you can build on and get more intimate and more uh, uh, depth as you go. So it's beneficial to attend, but there are some people that we know can't attend all for family reasons or other things. So then we can make some adjustments for that. And that also there is a whole range of financial support. So if you go to the registration, you can apply for financial support if you need that too. Because we do want this to work for people, and we do find that people, that there's something that's calling you, and we are just saying, who desires this in their life? Who does want this? So if that is something that feels alive and want more tools. But Margot, you're here now, so maybe you can say a little bit about how this awoke in you. What was it?
No, wait a minute. There's a question from Marjorie.
Yeah.
Where is Marjorie? What's the question?
The question is how to keep calm and maintain high vibration when I am convinced that the COVID is a big lie and that we get forced to keep our face masks on?
I know the same. I know the same, Marjorie. Well, I have had the good fortune in my life to study improvisational theater. And when I put my mask on, which is very rarely, but I do put it on when I want to give people the impression that I respect them. And so I put it on when I go to the bank, and I put it on when I go to the supermarket, and I have a nice little Italian mask with hearts on it. Is it here? I have my little mask here. Okay, so I put that on, and this is my costume. And actually, I laugh behind my mask, and I have big arguments with my friends. And no, you can't wear a mask because that means that you're playing into the game of the liars, and you know you have to stand up for yourself, and everybody blah. Discussions go on forever, but I'd rather keep everybody happy. And 90% of the time I wear no mask, and 5% of the time I wear a mask, because I'm all for diversity. So, you know, you change costumes, you know, you go to Papua, maybe you're not going to wear the same thing if you go to a folk dance in Papua than if you go to a folk dance in Bulgaria. So it doesn't have to be a big deal, the mask business. It is only becoming a big deal because it is what you make it. It's always what you make it. Everything in your life is your perception. Okay. So that's for the mask. And now for the COVID. Well, effectively, it becomes, I mean, first I got so depressed about the last communications I read from the various Belgian virologists who were warning us that it was the end of the world, you know, with all sorts of titles and researchers to support that. Then I had Penny, Dr. Tenpenny was talking. Then it was Christian Northrup who was talking. And basically, I got thoroughly depressed. I thought, the people I love are now deciding to take this vaccine. How long are they going to last before they get sick? And I started to worry about it and worry about it. Luckily, my bowl of bliss arrived at my house to give me my yoga class. And he scolded me that I was succumbing to the low vibrations of my environment. So we sat in meditation, we raised our frequency again. And I decided for the next days that I would not look at the news if it looked like I was getting some more news about vaccines. And that I would simply devote my next few days to choosing what raises my vibration and what keeps me in a good mood, without denying the reality of what is happening around me. Not denying it, but simply choosing with awareness what brings me joy, so I can open the door to the spirit. And did you know that bliss is the immune system of your spirit? Bliss is the immune system of your spirit. And so it is important nowadays to cultivate this level of joy, because there is in that dimension so much that is incredibly beautiful, that is incredibly graceful and harmonious. And it is there waiting for you. And if you don't believe it, and if you believe in all the blah blah that you're being given, it's your choice, darlings. It's your choice. It's not your choice. It's our choice, everybody's choice. And so, you know, find a creative way with us. We invite you to find a creative way with us to introduce more and more of the tools and of the considerations that will keep you in a level of joy in your daily life. Okay? And so don't let the anger, and I speak to myself also, don't let the indignation take over when you start to think about the madness of the world we live in. But look with awareness what is happening. Ask yourself why it's happening. And remember that you are a sovereign human being, and your sovereignty can be manifested on the inside. You don't show anything on the outside. Or your sovereignty can be manifested on the outside by saying, I choose to do this, and I choose not to do that. It's idiotic that I say that. It might seem completely idiotic when I'm talking, but I have found this to be true. So that's my answer. Any other question? Thank you for this one.
Sure. We had a question from Anouk, which reads like this. I'm curious and have been for many years. How can a person like myself, 73 years old, living on Social Security, enjoy the teachings of Margot? I have followed her for decades. I believe she is the best, but I cannot afford for it. Do you have any suggestions?
What do you mean you cannot afford? SkyDancing Tantra is the only school, okay, existing currently on the face of the planet, which offers scholarships to the people who cannot afford the trainings. Go and apply for a scholarship, okay? Now, I'm not talking about the smaller trainings such as the immersion. I don't know anything about that. But when you want to do the love and ecstasy training, you can apply to the foundation in Brussels that is managing, the whole question of offering scholarship to those who want to take the training and cannot afford it. So now that's one answer. And the other is that if you think you cannot do it, if you think that it will not happen, if you think that you're too poor and that you're not worthy, well, that's what the universe is going to deliver you. Now, on the other hand, if you want that really, really strongly, if it becomes the most important thing in your life, and no matter what, you're going to go for it, the universe will deliver that. Most cases. Now, as I was saying before, it often gives you what you need, not always what you want. So, this what your task is to navigate this. But I invite you, all 78 years old that you are, which is still younger than the current presidents and leaders of this world, which when you think of it is a little ridiculous that we should all be led by the nose by people that are great grand fucking fathers, maybe it's time to get a little younger. Anyway, so age doesn't count. Time doesn't count. You can be young, at an older age. You can resuscitate. I'm here to tell you, it's possible. So, so your age doesn't count. Forget about your age. Now, the state of your wallet, well, you got to trust. Are you going to stay with your retirement and your pension? Or are you going to look inside and find something new, interesting, and original to contribute? Are you going to leave the world a better place than you found it? There is always something possible and new for you to be able to do. Always. It never ends. It never stops. And you have to trust in that. Profoundly trust in that. And remember, every moment now, in the now, okay, is revealing itself to you in its splendor, in its completeness, in its unexpectedness, in its newness. It is just unbelievable. Just open your eyes and trust and look. So that's what I can answer. And thank you for the question. Am I making any sense to the one who answered the question? Where is she? Was it Corinne? Deb. Okay.
Thank you, Margot. We also have questions about what you were talking. One of them is, I hear the term go inside. Can you tell me more about going inside? And there's also a question from Susan who says, it has taken me a long time to come out from under old and deliberating understanding of surrender. Can you please talk more about surrender? So there's two questions, go inside and surrender. Can you elaborate?
With pleasure, thank you. Well, going inside, okay, let me take this example. You're in a family meeting or meeting with friends or in your relationship, and you're into a heated discussion. It's particularly applies in my relationship, I would say. Okay, you're in a heated discussion, and you don't even think about it. You're immediately drawn to react, respond, answer, and basically put your energy outside of yourself to make a difference by the words you say, by the expressions on your face, by the reactions that you give. Okay. Now, what would happen if you would listen to all this that you have to say, that you want to show, but you would absolutely remain silent? And all of this would happen as your internal dialogue with yourself, and you would simply wait. And if it's a very difficult situation because you totally don't agree with the other, you would maybe say, look, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be there in 5 minutes. And you go around the block, you take a few deep breaths, and you wait. I guarantee you, if you do that, that there will be a moment where the drama of it all would recede in the background, and there will be a kind of a quieting that happens. And if you wait some longer time, it could be that all of a sudden you come to I have this image of the Anubis, who weighs the heart of the person. You come to a place where suddenly, for some mysterious reason, you feel, well, on this side, it's like this. On this side, it's like that. But yeah, is there really a big difference? And you come to a moment where you have to laugh because it doesn't really matter. Okay, whether it's the left side or the right side, so I'm saying going inside is basically honoring the silence of listening, because we don't listen rightly. Okay, we listen in a way that is kind of consuming films on television, consuming information, but information is not awakening. Information is not enlightenment. Okay, information is answering a certain longing, a certain curiosity to know what's going on. But we don't really know what's going on when we do that. We only know what's going on when we have the patience, the humility, okay, and the trust to say nothing and do nothing. So that's what I mean by going inside. Stop the distractions, okay? Be with yourself. It's not easy. And that's why in the immersion course, we offer you 10,000 different ways of approaching this understanding of the difference between being out there and being in here. Okay? So that's what I want to say about going inside. It's your heart space. Okay, now the other question was surrender. Well, all I can say, all I can say is in my case, I have a coach who is kind of combining different methods of working with me because I was disabled for 4 years. Don't know if you know this. I basically was walking with a cane. I was going in a wheelchair. I was kind of rather dysfunctional in my body, and I got operated, and I felt like I was old and I was on the way out. And then I decided, no, 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 I'm not finished. And so I then told you already in the beginning of this show, I found a coach. The coach is using yoga, breathing, meditation, fitness, all of these combined in one. And he's very strong. And he has a unique way of working with the joints, because I've been working for 2 months in the possibility, dig this, for you, you're going to laugh. 2 months that I'm working 6 hours a week with the possibility of being able to sit in half lotus. Okay? I have had 2 knee operations. Half lotus was out of the picture. But half lotus is my jumping board to going inside and to bringing my bliss up to the forefront of my being, to, take off basically. So I want to get back to half lotus, the meditation posture. So this man, takes a joint and starts to manipulate the joint in a very unique way, which could be very scary, because all of a sudden he's making circles with my knees, circle with my knees that have been stuck for so long. And so there is this resistance, that could be psychological as well as physical. There is this kind of whoops, like this, the old fear that's being there. And so I hear the voice that says, relax. Okay, so I relax a little deeper. And then the voice that says, now let go. Okay, and then a little deeper, but I'm not sure yet. It's not me, it's my body, but it's also my psyche. It's the same. And then comes the fais-moi confiance. Trust me. Oh my God. There is this gorgeous man who's there, and he was telling me, trust me. And then I have to realize, as I'm letting my knees be kind of turned around, I have to realize, how much did I trust a man in my life? How much was I able to really let go? How much did I really not care about all the stuff I thought was so important that I could really drop it? And so by doing this training, which is basically focusing on the body, there's a whole new shift that's happening in me, where my humor, my laughter, my trust is, coming back. And it's not just trusting this teacher or this coach, it's trusting life, because everything is getting better and better. So I see that I'm boring you, so I'm going to stop there. That's my response about surrender. Okay, I see that Lokita is smiling. That makes me happy. Lokita, am I being intelligent or not? Okay, good.
We actually have a question from Lokita that I was preparing for you. Lokita says, I love you, Margot. Can you please talk more about cultivating love, the personal and the universal?
Well, I always come back to the same point. It's like the humility of saying nothing, of not having to prove myself, of being in such a deep trust with existence that even if what's happening is something that I don't really want to see happen in this way, because I don't want that, I want that. Okay, and that's the ego who decides that we have to manipulate existence so that we get what we want. Okay, and not what we need, but what we want. That's a big difference. Okay? And so if I don't do anything, and if I don't say anything, and I watch, okay, then love happens. It's a very mysterious way. I don't know how, but all this fighting and doing and wanting that this should be this way and that way. And I'm not saying I don't do it. I do my bit of it, you know. Yesterday I had 25 friends coming for a talk at my house. The whole day, the internet and the electricity were down. And I was running to the street and I was looking at these Balinese people mixing their wires in the most insane way. And I was shimphing and jumping up and down. I got a show going on. I, want electricity, And then the electricity came on only halfway. So it was on and off and on and off. And oh my God. So was I stressed. And finally I sat in a chair and I said, I'll let it go, And if they come and there's no electricity, we'll do the talk with candlelight. I have enough. And the whole thing came on 5 minutes before the guests arrived, So I didn't need to stress myself. I didn't need to jump up and down. I didn't need to do any of this. I just needed to do nothing and wait. And existence was going to give me what I needed to get. And dig this, even when you don't get what you want, existence is giving you what you need. Please remember that, okay? And when you stay with that, you will be amazed what comes your way. So personal love and universal love is always happening when you get out of the way and you don't think that you're the one who knows best. And this is the most difficult, of course, thing to do. But the more you do that, the more joy happens, the more gratitude. This is the key, gratitude. So I'm now giving you a little exercise, okay? After this show is over here, I want you to walk around your apartment. Some of you are morning time, some of you are evening time. Here it's about 11 o'clock at night, okay? And I want you to take a walk through your apartment. And if you're allowed to go outside, you go outside, okay? And you just observe. What are you watching? What are you seeing? What are you thinking and feeling? And I want you to dig out from this little walk you're gonna take. What is it that I am grateful for, okay? And if you're so inspired, even take a paper and a pen, go back to your table in between your walk and write this down, okay? What you're grateful for. You'll be amazed if you do that every day, I see here among all our friends, one very, very beloved friend, and I'm not gonna mention names. We thought we lost him. We thought he was going to die. And now he resurrected and he's here watching this show. Well, isn't that something to be grateful for? So there's like gratitude is the stepping stone to bliss. And bliss is the stepping stone to your full potential. Let's put it that way. Okay, Lokita? Is that okay for you? Okay, great. All right, thank you. Okay, so my guardians over there, how much time have I got left? Especially given that time doesn't exist.
We have about 15 minutes, and you had mentioned a meditation. Would you like to do that now?
Yeah, I think I would like to do that.
And then we were going to just do a couple minute wrap up too, to summarize some of how to keep in contact with you. Such.
But my conclusion before we go into the meditation is, how many times in your life did you have a chance to jump in and to take a moment for yourself, okay, for yourself, to wake yourself up, to become more aware, to benefit from some help that was coming your way? And how many times did you not pay attention? Did you listen to your mind that was telling you, I don't have the money, I have other things to do, this is not so important, I'm not so important, waking up is not so important, I have to pay the rent, It's not true. No, you don't have to pay the rent. You have to wake up. This is more important than paying the rent. Sorry, guys. Because if you can't pay the rent, you're going to find yourself with someone who comes and says, look, you're taking good care of my house. This just happened to me. You're taking good care of my house. I really like your energy here. So you'll pay me when you can. Okay? So, and I paid her rent anyway because I love her. So, you know, the rent business, the you should, you could, all of that is part of the game. And you can choose which marble you're going to toss in the air and how you're going to play it. That's what I think. I get some doubtful expressions looking at me there on the screen. Well, okay. Anyway, shall we do a meditation? Okay. So I'm inviting you to please sit comfortably with your back straight. And then I'm going to invite my friends to play the music. And now let's go inside by closing our eyes. And notice when you close your eyes that all of a sudden you hear better. Your eyes are no longer defining your reality. You are no longer evaluating and judging what you see. But you're going inside in this subtle feeling of you, of awareness befriending itself. So as you close your eyes, feel yourself becoming aware of yourself. And take a deep breath. And now, as you keep your eyes closed and you keep breathing, call forth, imagine in your third eye, in your forehead, in the center of your brain, a representation of enlightenment. This can be a statue or a painting of the Buddha, or a statue or a painting of Kuan Yin, or any shaman or guide or teacher, Osho or Padmasambhava, or anybody that inspires you and that represents, you could say, an archetype of awakening. And take a moment to really see, to feel, to imagine, to connect with that reminder of awakening. And breathe. Now it may be that you see yourself sitting next to a statue of the Buddha. Or it may be that you meet someone on the road who inspires you to smile, to remember who you are. So take a deep breath, and now let's take it one step further. Imagine now, behind your closed eyes, that you become that Buddha, that you become that person, that Dakini, that Kuan Yin, that Mary Magdalene, that Buddha Padmasambhava self, that angel, that light, that magician that carries the flame of awakening inside your heart. And take a deep breath again. And feel how this presence of the awakened one, in whichever form she or he is now imbibing your whole body. That you are becoming that. And now I want to invite you to imagine that you are walking down the street, that you're going outside your house as that awakened one, as that Buddha self, as that Dakini self. And step by step, I invite you to imagine every moment of your day, starting tomorrow, or if you're in the morning, starting this afternoon. Imagine every moment of that day as the awakened one moves through. And I'm going to let you breathe and really get into that feeling. I am the awakened one, and I am moving through my day, through my life, as an awakened being that I am. So take a deep breath now. And see yourself doing that as if you were watching a slow motion movie. Yes, you hear the flute in the distance calling you. Like a caress on your spirit. Sliding up and down, inspiring you, joyfully reminding you to relax, to enjoy. And now, with much focus and clarity, while staying relaxed, I invite you to literally see the day as you go through it, what you do. So in my case, I would first welcome my house mother who would come to make breakfast. So I am the awakened one. How do I speak to her? How do I make her feel that I am the mirror of her awakening? And so on and so forth. So I'm now inviting you to visualize what you do in your day and to visualize what steps you would take, what phrases you would say, what interactions you would have, what facial expressions you would wear as the awakened one going through your day. And now let's just do that in your own terms, in your own time, and take 3-5 minutes to do that while the music plays. So take a deep breath again. Relax. And embody the awakened responses that you give to and in your life, to and in your environment. And then, as the awakened one walking through your life, you encounter glitches. Like I'm now encountering that my volume is not really responding in a very linear, equal way. It's kind of on and off. Okay, so how does the awakened one respond to that? And how does the awakened one respond to looking forward to this warm baguette and this croissant that you're going to get at the boulangerie? And you get there and there's none left. How does the awakened one respond to that situation? And then you visit your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. And how does the awakened one share this moment? What is it that you say, that you share? And then the awakened one comes together with a partner in the group or in your life. Might be that it's an intimate partner, or might be that it's just an intimate friend of the heart. How does the awakened one respond? And remember that highest teaching of Tantra, which is currently the one that I am exploring very deeply. The art of being desireless at the height of desire. Doing nothing, wanting nothing, saying nothing, listening, and allowing the listening, the presence of your presence to speak through you. And now, after an episode of walking around your life as the awakened one, I invite you now to feel and see how it would be as the awakened one to return home at the end of the day. So let yourself come back home. And now you come back home and you're sitting on your sofa. Close your eyes. You look inside. And you tell yourself, what is it that I am grateful for? What is it that there a reason to be grateful for? And just have a look for a moment while the frogs are singing. Now, as the awakened one, I just want to remind you of this old Taoist meditation of the 13th century, which tells you to lift up the corners of your mouth and send a smile to your heart. And notice how it changes your mood. And now that we are in this soft mood together, I want to appreciate that you have joined me in this evening, and I want to encourage you to step and jump into this rare immersion course that my friends are teaching. And I want to express my gratitude to Marcel Brouillet and Mariama and Astrid. God knows that name that she's also having, her soul name was really, really special. And right now, in my moment of gratitude to Astrid, that name is like a bird that is flying by but doesn't really land in my brain yet. In any case, I am also grateful to Sachi Joe and to Sarah and to Laurent and Laurence and to all my wonderful friends in the Sangha of SkyDancing Tantra. And I want to thank you all, even if I didn't mention your name directly now. I want to thank you all for creating this wonderful family and tell you that you really have a mission now and to help this global awakening to come and to transcend, if you can, the frustration of the moments that we are going through and to choose, I hope, to stay healthy without the need to be impregnated with bizarre things. Is that you? We don't always know if it's an animal, a lizard, a frog, or a human. Anyway, yeah, so gratitude is the name of the day. Remember that. So lots and lots of love to you all, my friends. And thank you for joining us. And I'll see you at the immersion course, I hope.
Thank you so much, Margot.
Yes, thank you for your meditation, for your wisdom, for lots of thinking experiences and challenging parts of us, whether it sits comfortably or has that kind of growing edge for us that inspires us to really attune to what is right for us. That I love that you're doing that. There's not a right and a wrong, but there's a being with what you experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And look forward to have you teach in the immersion along with many other teachers, and that we really created this online class because of desiring to spread Skydancing Tantra to people that could not attend the in-person events during this experience, or that wanted to try it in their home and to be able to integrate it into their home, to feel that how does it fit into your life, that it is a way of being, and so that this gives that opportunity of being with these thoughts, these experiences, just as Margot created this, is how do you take this in your walk today? How do you take this in your
doing the dishes today?
Dishes, your gratitude.
For your argument with your spouse. How do you breathe and be more gentle with yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so in the chat, we'll put the link for the immersion, and if you use Margot Skydancing as the code, you can also get 10% off for the registration, and that would be wonderful to have people join. And there is a discount, a full scholarship or a full range of scholarship that is available for registration if those of you that can't otherwise afford it. And if others can afford some, you can also donate money to help support those that can't, and it is on the registration page. It says financial support, apply here. So we do really care about who wants Skydancing in their life. That for us, it's made a world of difference, and that's why we're here, because of the consciousness, the intention that it brings into my living. That I feel like it has risen me to interact in relationships and in life in a way that I've so appreciated, and thank Margot often for your attention to be out there and share it with the world. So yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So it starts in the 27th of March, so please sign up now and use the code Margot SkyDancing to get 10% off, and that then we will be starting right away, and you can participate for the 4 full Saturdays and morning meditations that will be recorded so you can watch throughout the day, and then some evening interactive practices. So really beautiful time to come together with other people who desire skydancing too, and awaken their minds and bodies and life.
Margot, would you like to close with an Om?
Okay, let's do that.
I know it doesn't translate very well on Zoom, but maybe just the three of us doing it.
Well, we could do it all together. 1, 2, 3. Blessings on your path. Enjoy your life.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.